everybody?
Old school cap. Eddie got opinions and a live stream chat. Used to walk the halls with the burn CD stack. Now he hits go live and the room fades black. Comment wars flare in the
Can you guess who's here?
He's breaking down takes on who we are.
Can you guess who's harassing me?
Quick like a locker slam. What if I just play the songs that raised this man?
Donnie, spin that track. Eddie's going back. There you go. And
96 posters on his bedroom
there you go.
wall. All that teammates in a one-car garage. Now it's echoing through a common hall.
Bum, 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 bada, boom.
Donnie's spinning that
Donnie. How's y'all Saturday going, huh? You guys ready for Mother's Day? Everybody ready for Mother's Day? Same thing, just a different plan.
Camera light on, but the mood turns soft. He says, we'll argue later. I'm clocking out, boss. Pulls out the pills from a dusty brain drawer. First drum hit, and he's 16 once more.
Panda. How y'all doing today?
Song, she twisted his hair. Now the chat types, yo, I remember this too. And the whole world shrinks to a gym in 02.
Donnie, spin that track.
Eddie's going back. Baggy jeans, mixtape in his mom's old car.
Yeah, I got baggy jeans.
Big dreams drawn on an notebook page. Like the world wasn't
Quite so far. Dun, 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 dun.
Donnie's spin that track. Mark on the offbeat clap from long threads.
What's up, buddy boy, huh?
Broken state.
Yes, you're such a little boy.
Still that kid, just a better mic. Still trying to say what's wrong, what's right. Some nights debate, some nights rewind. Either way, he's speaking his mind.
I always speak my mind. My mom taught me that. Oh, you're gonna come and Donnie's gonna run the show for a little bit.
Scrolling fast, but the room feels small.
What's up, Iggy? Hi, handsome.
At the bedroom wall.
We're getting in the summer months. Donnie's getting hot. How y'all doing today? You guys ready for Mother's Day tomorrow, huh? Everybody ready for Mother's Day? I hope so. I hope so. You should be. Hopefully you got your mom something good. This is not one of my favorite. They used to have a blue, I think it was called Blue Raz, they replaced this with Blue Raz with this, and I don't like it so much. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing well. It's Saturday night. We're gonna look through X a little bit and then go through some shenanigans. We'll probably watch crazy videos, listen to music. Who knows what we're gonna do? It's Saturday night. You never know what we're gonna do on a Saturday night. All right, look at this. Former NFL player sentenced to prison for $197 million in Medicare fraud. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. Let's see. Department of Justice announced that former NFL player Joel Rufus French, who's 47, was sentenced to 16 plus years in prison and ordered to pay $110 million plus in restitution after a years-long scheme to bilk Medicare and the civilian health and medical program of the Department of Veteran Affairs, CHAP VA, at a nearly $200 million. Why has he only got to pay back $110 million? He also forfeited approximately $17 million that the government seized from his bank accounts and other assets. French was an All-American tight end at Ole Miss before briefly playing at the NFL for the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. According to the Department of Justice, French, who owned a marketing company and was the beneficial owner of 8 durable medical equipment companies, was selling patient information and sham doctor's orders for orthotic braces that patients did not want and they didn't need. The Assistant Attorney General Colin M. McDonald of the Justice Department National Fraud Enforcement Division shared, fueled by lies, bribes, and overseas telemarketers, the corrupt scheme preyed on senior citizens and disabled veterans to flood the county or the country with unnecessary medical devices and then billed the taxpayer for it. Now, how come he gets jail time, but yet the Somalians don't? What's up with this? Today's sentence makes it clear that if you target America's elderly, sick, or vulnerable and rob Americans' purse doing so, You'll be targeted and brought to justice. The defendant orchestrated a brazen, years-long scheme that preyed on elderly patients and families of disabled and deceased veterans to steal millions from Medicare and Champ VA. Acting Deputy Inspector General for Investigation Scott J. Lampert of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office of Inspector General added by hiding behind overseas call centers, sham telemedicine companies, straw-owned DME suppliers. He exploited some of the most vulnerable people these programs were created for. This lengthy sentence underscores the seriousness of his crimes and sends a clear message. Yeah, why aren't they doing this to the scammers in Minnesota, right? Why? But they're not. The VA OIG will continue to work with our law enforcement. French also defrauded Medicare and Champ VA, the healthcare program for spouses and children of veterans who have had a permanent and total service-connected disability or who died from a service-connected condition by billing the programs for orthotic braces through 8 DME supply companies that he owned. He also laundered approximately $225,000 in cash from a bank in Mississippi, over $10,000, which was placed in a bag and driven to Orlando to pay accomplices who sold him beneficiaries' personal. Wow. Even former NFL football players are doing it. But how come he gets arrested, but yet the Somalians don't? That's what I don't get. They just let a Somalian off recently, you know? Freaking. It's just a joke. You know, all this stuff's a joke anymore. I'm starting to get in one, you know, every once in a while I just get where the news just depresses me so much, you know, seeing people like Elizabeth Warren and all these idiots, you know, just telling people lies and just knowing how stupid people actually believe them. Just, it makes me not want to even look at anything anymore and just ignore everybody.
America's redistricting battles just became a full-fledged war. Democrats are vowing to go all in tonight after a consequential setback in Virginia. The state Supreme Court striking down the new congressional map that favors Democrats, ruling that the party began the process of putting the measure on the ballot too late. The new map would have created 4 new majority blue districts, and it was created in response to President Trump's call for red states to redraw maps to favor Republicans. Now, last month, voters narrowly passed that referendum, and Democrats are vowing to appeal.
Narrowly.
The House Minority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries, says that the fight is just getting started. And it all comes after the Supreme Court issued a historic ruling that severely weakened the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and it opened the door to new redistricting battles
Democrats have been doing this
South.
shit for years.
Like,
now
for
Republicans
example, in
do
Alabama,
it and they freak
where
out.
Republicans are now asking the Supreme Court to allow the state to revert back to an old map that it had struck down. The court in 2023 ultimately ordered the officials to redraw its map after it tried to pack black voters into one district. So we are, to be frank, in the depths of hell now when it comes to redistricting. I don't think there's a better way to put it. Like,
wait a minute, you weren't bitching about it when you guys did it. When liberals did it, you weren't bitching.
There's no bottom, officially, here. I think between the Supreme Court ruling and Virginia, we have a situation where pretty much every state is going to be looking at their maps and seeing whether they can box out the other political party.
You guys are
the
jokes.
result is going to be, I think, just terrible,
chaos.
probably. Yeah, chaos, terrible for our democracy. But
Shut up. I can't even watch any more of this BS. I just can't. You guys are jokes. Democrats are jokes. They're just insane. All right, California's free diaper program is $12.5 million routed through a Democrat NGO co-led by mega donors that pay 6 Democrat donors 6-figure salaries. Newsom is paying Democrat donors to hand out diapers. The babies are the props, the donors are the beneficiaries, and the taxpayers are the victim. Let's see. I saw some more on this, so I think there's another... Somewhere else I saw something about this, and I think I may have posted it too. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out if I did or not. We shall find out. All right, yeah, have you heard today? So in Denver, Colorado, Frontier Airlines aircraft forced to make an emergency landing after a pedestrian on the runway was struck and sucked into one of the jet's engines. Watches the horrifying footage from earlier this morning shows the moment Frontier Flight 4345 departing from Denver International Airport and bound for Los Angeles was forced into an emergency evacuation after a man reportedly walked onto the active runway and was sucked into one of the aircraft's engines during takeoff. The impact triggered a brief engine fire, which was quickly extinguished by airport firefighters. Officials later confirmed that the individual had been walking on the runway prior to the incident. Though the reason remains unknown and is now under investigation, no injuries were reported. Well, apparently, what I seen it later, which we will probably show it, is that the guy snuck on the onto the runway.
Tower Frontier 4345, we're stopping on the runway. We just hit somebody. We have an engine fire.
Can you know the souls on board?
We have 231 souls on board. There was an individual walking across the runway.
We've got smoke in the aircraft. We're going to evacuate on the runway.
Those are bad. Wow, look at all the fins on that just destroyed.
We almost died.
The fins are that are destroyed.
Fucking crazy.
What the heck is that thing? It looks like a mobility scooter. Are those like foam trucks, I wonder? Or just all fire trucks? Hey folks, don't go out and don't walk on runways. You know the planes can't exactly stop on a dime. They don't stop on a dime. Here's more evidence of election fraud, but remember the left tells us this never happens. Holy crap! No wonder Gavin Newsom is suing to block Trump's executive order requiring barcode tracking for mail-in ballots. Let's see what this is about. Okay, it doesn't say anything. Let's click on this whole California vote fraudster Shakir Khan had 71 names and 41 completed mail-in ballots at his single house. They want to protect fraud. Wow. Yeah. Fraud everywhere. It's a fraudster's dream here in the United States, especially California, right? Hi, Panda Bear. Hi, Mamas. Mike Lee is hell-bent on getting the Save America Act passed before the midterms. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to happen because all the other Republicans in the Senate are a bunch of dumbasses.
There are a couple ways you can accomplish this. One, of course, is to continue to debate until every senator has either physically exhausted themselves or until every senator has exhausted his or her right to speak under the Senate rules. Then you call the question a simple majority. The other approach is to just nuke the filibuster and do the whole thing at 51 from the outset. Look, I strongly prefer the first option, but either way, we've got to get to the question on this because, Kaylee, Americans overwhelmingly support the need for voter ID. They overwhelmingly support the need to verify citizenship from those registered to vote in this country. The Save America Act would make sure that both of those pieces are taken care of. That's why the overwhelming majority, a supermajority of Republican voters, of Democrat voters nationwide, want this passed and even want it passed before the midterm elections. And that cuts across the board in people of both political parties. The only place where this is even remotely controversial is in the halls of Congress with Democrats in the halls of Congress. That's why we've got to get this done to make our elections safe and secure again.
Yep, 100%. Safe and secure. And I hate to say it, folks, it's not going to happen. The Republicans are a bunch of bitches in the Senate and in Congress. You know, it's not going to happen. That's why we're redistricting. That's why we're redistricting, folks. Oh, and I forgot YouTube's still on here. So you know what, YouTube, sorry. You always get mad. You always get me in trouble. So YouTube, goodbye. Go to Eddie Block Films on Rumble where you can watch us there.